Yeah, thank you very much, Joe, and thank you very much for everyone who tuned in this evening or wherever you are. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. So yes, it's been a little while since we all connected, and I do sincerely apologise for that, but I can assure you 100% that we've been very busy at our end, and we've got some fantastic updates as well. So let me firstly get into it, and I understand that the rabbit is out of the bag a little bit with regards to this, but first and foremost, I must advise everyone, and this isn't bad news, this is good news, that we have had to amend some of our timeframes. So basically, what we're doing is this: we've made the decision to, instead of doing a big bang launch on in mid-March for the monetary system, what we're going to do is actually go into and do a beta launch of our system at that time, and give it 2 months of testing, effectively, to go out to the likes of yourselves, just to effectively do the user accepted testing and stress test it, in other words. So, and with that being the case, we have pushed out the full monetary system launch until mid-May. So we've given it an extra 2 months. And additionally, with that being the case, we have decided, well, there's no point in having effectively our Kinesis currency ICO open for such a long period of time. I mean, it goes over the Christmas break. And effectively, you know, if you're depositing metals in, or if you're bringing fiat into the system to buy our coins while they're there during that pre-ICO period, then it's effectively holding up your capital. There's no yields during that period of time. So Doctor Who there, Andy. So effectively, with regards to that, we thought, well, we have all these big deals that are underway as far as KVT investment, along with strategic partnerships that we've been putting together, and they keep on coming to us like very strongly. We've got a very, very strong partnership and deal pipeline. So we decided to effectively push out the KVT sale period. So we've pushed it out across the Christmas period. So it's changing from what was it, the closing on the 11th of November, and we're now pushing that out to be closed on the 15th of March. And then the monetary system, then we go into pre-ICO phase for the monetary system. And then, so basically the KCX opens, and also our wallet opens as well. And then effectively from there, we go into full launch on the 15th of May. So, I mean, what that means for everyone, yes, the live trading of KVTs is delayed by a number of months, call it 4 months. But you're also not losing any money as well. So yeah, it's held up for a little bit longer, but it gives us more time to bring together all these partnerships. And let's just say if we would come out with the partnerships that we've been doing right now, I think everyone would be extremely impressed. There's government-owned organizations in there. There's royal families in the mix, large global conglomerates in the mix in all different kind of industries. I mean, I can, you know, we're doing deals out of the healthcare space with big healthcare platforms, royal families, as I said as well, which will give us political influence into certain regions around the world, and you know, to basically move and shake in influential circles, and also at the governmental level, which we're really looking to infiltrate. And by bringing them into like KVT investment, then it really aligns them with the success of the overall monetary system. Basically, it financially incentivizes them, just the same way as, you know, we went out to the general public to bring online yourselves. But these deals, with some of these conglomerates, you know, we're talking millions of users. So, you know, one deal alone is like over 20 million users. I was speaking to my colleague, we're bringing online another a deal with like 40 million users, another one with 4.5 million daily active users. And these partnerships, they will be going out and piping in their users into KVTs. So yes, firstly, we're getting the organization aligned with our success, and we can interface in our currencies into these different organizations, but they can also go out to their users and investors and their clients or customers to get them invested in the success of ABX as well. So this is the benefit of going to the institutional level. So yeah, I mean, ultimately we're very, very focused at this point in time on corporate deal flow. And the more corporate deal flow that we do, then the more assurance, comfort, and confidence that it brings to the Kinesis monetary system. So we've got a very long pipeline. Some of these organizations are publicly listed, and we have to be very careful with regards to our disclosure. And some of them are actually even government owned or governments. So we have to be very careful. And so that's, you know, we've strategically put together these deals, and there'll be a strategic sequence in rolling these deals out as well. I thank you very much for your patience during this process. But I assure you that I assure you that you won't be disappointed when these deals start coming through. The other big thing as well is we've focused on bringing in a number of highly influential advisors as well. These advisors exist at different in different industries, have in general a high level of political influence, and also a high level of influence in a certain space as well. And in addition to that, can bring great benefits both at the retail level and at the institutional level for Kinesis. So you'll see some releases shortly around these different advisors. Some of them are signed, sealed, delivered. I'll leave it up to Jai to, you know, we're going to do some public announcements very shortly around a number of them. But we're very excited about them coming on board, not just for, you know, just a typical sort of, you know, stamp of approval or endorsement from their names being attached to our organization, but from the fact that we have them aligned with the success of our organization. So, and that organization really
Tom, you've started to break up again. Just 1 second. Maybe let it catch up. I did switch my screen on. Maybe it lagged. I don't know. Try again.
It's funny is when you switch your screen on, it's when Tom disappeared.
Yeah. I'll keep that off.
Well, if we're waiting for Tom to come back, let me just say that everything that Tom's been talking about, I'm 100% behind this. Look, this is. We always knew that this was going to be a success. Every one of us knew this. The whole team knew this. I mean, God, this has been essentially from ABX through to now, through to Kinesis. This has been a 7-year project. I mean, this is so exciting because really, you know, everyone knows how I feel about this. I mean, Kinesis puts the aggregated power of physical concentration back in the hands of us, the people. And, you know, I'm 1,000% behind the fact that we are being very, very pragmatic about the rollout here. Things have come to us that we always knew it was going to be a success, but things have rolled in that perhaps we thought maybe it would be a year or 2 or even 3 years out. As Tom says, governments, I mean, you know, I can't obviously talk about all of this stuff at this point, but you're going to see a series of announcements which is going to blow you away. This is everything that we ever expected, but very fast tracked. And I think, you know, also another thing that makes me very happy is the fact that there's an extended window for the KVTs to be sold. And really, because to me and to all of us, it's important that we don't see any form, and we've resisted any form of concentrated position. Yes, we've had plenty of people coming in to offer us very large tranches, but really it's about keeping this diverse, keeping Kinesis in the hands of us, the people. So to me, I'm 1000% behind everything that's happening here, more excited than I ever would have imagined. This, as I say, it's really, we fast-tracked ourselves to a position here where we simply, it makes sense to make sure that everything is 1000% correct. So that's really all I wanted to add here. Let everyone know I'm so excited. I'm behind you. I see you on the ambassadors Telegram channel. I look in all the time, and I'm very, very privileged to be associated with all you guys who have been so loyal and so good for Kinesis. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Yeah, and you dropped out for a little bit of that, Andy, but everything I heard, 100% echo what you're saying as well. But let me just say this, and it's worthwhile saying this as well, and I'll get into a few other quick things before I finish up. But the deal flow coming through at this point in time is astronomical, and it's something quite amazing for me, as having set up a number of startup companies before. When you're a startup, it's actually difficult to do deals. People want to see track record. People want to see runs on the board. But the thing is, with Kinesis and what we're doing, and because we're at the forefront of an emerging industry, and the tide is changing and the flood is coming with regards to blockchain and cryptocurrency technology, you really can't deny what's happening at the moment. Then the deals are actually coming to us, and it's rather astounding. Like, we can't handle all the deals, and we're being very selective with regards to the ones that we're doing. And you open the door for one deal, and it sort of opens another 10 doors. And there's a general acceptance out there that blockchain is the way of the future, and it's quite astounding. So we've been leveraging every deal that has come our way, and they're not small deals. I'm in Dubai at the moment, and we're meeting with the royals in the United Arab Emirates, and we're meeting with a number of the large conglomerates, the families who built Dubai, and we're going to have some further announcements around this. But it's happening everywhere, all around the world. We're going to have some announcements out of Asia, this and that. Please expect a lot to be coming. But I also want to announce as well that we have Nigel on the call, Nigel Owens. He's joined us as our new CTO to replace Roslyn. And I'll let Nigel introduce himself in a little bit, but he comes from a very experienced background out of the exchange space and financial technology space, also experience within the blockchain industry as well. And he's a very welcome addition to the team. We're all excited to be working with him. He's picked up things and hit the ground running very fast. We also have some new additions of the team coming on as well. So, Nigel has a lot of experience. He built out the technology team at the London Metals Exchange. We also have a new general counsel that will be joining us shortly as well, with deep experience out of the exchange space as well. So, and once he joins the team shortly, we'll be announcing that. So we're going to have an all-star cast to take Kinesis forward into the future, to build a successful and sustainable future in money, and also a successful and sustainable future for our company, obviously, as well, and for KVT investors. We thank you all for your support to date, and I'll hand it over to whoever I need to hand it over to next. Jai, I'll let you lead the way.
No worries.
Should I address anything else while I've got you, Jai? Should I be addressing anything else?
Tom, I don't think there's any more you can say. I think it's perfect. So I think, it's good. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Andy. I think without further ado, let's get stuck into some of these backlog of the questions that people have here. And I think first up is Richard, and Richard can take us through the first questions. And Rich, let's crack on.
Thanks very much, Jai. So, look, I'll read out the question and then the answer, and we'll work through these and hand it between the team members and go from there. So the first question that I have here is, will minters be required to send, sell, or spend during the pre-ICO period to receive pre-ICO yields? The answer here is no. Minters can only buy during the pre-ICO period. If minters spend or send their currency to another wallet during this period, they will not be entitled to the yield because they won't have a KBE to actually sell it on. During the pre-ICO, you must mint and hold. Minters that create Kinesis coins during the pre-ICO period will be entitled to the pre-ICO minters yield, provided that they sell or use the Kinesis coins after the pre-ICO period. So any Kinesis currencies that are purchased during this pre-ICO period will be entitled to the pre-ICO yield, obviously. However, it cannot be sold until the period has ended. During this period, there will be no sending or spending for reasons I just outlined. It's really just a period to be minted and held, and there won't be any re-minting during that phase. Anyone who participates in the system during this period obviously will be rewarded with the pre-ICO yields. Now, the second question that I have here is, will depositors be able to buy on the KBE during the pre-ICO period? No, the KBE will not be live during the pre-ICO period. The KBE will only be available once the pre-ICO has ended. The next question I have is, will institutions take all the remaining KBTs that are not sold to the general public? Will the number of institutions buying KBTs be less than or greater than 10 or 20? Well, any tokens that are available for public sale and are not sold during the public sale will be locked up for a period of 12 months. Institutional interest has been strong, as Tom mentioned previously. However, for obvious reasons, we cannot comment on the identity of these prospective institutional investors at the moment, or the amount that is planned to be invested. The next question is, will allocations to institutions be made right at the end of the public sale on the final day? So yes, the vision here is to have this spread across as many individuals as possible to achieve maximum market penetration. And whilst we're not deliberately holding back, we're rather weighted in our focus in our approach to this. So as we near the end of the ICO period, we will be pushing to drive these institutional relationships with, of course, the incentive of lucrative timelines. The next question that I have here is, what happens immediately after the public sale? So once the ITO has concluded, the KBT will be made transferable and the Kinesis currency pre-ICO sale will commence. Detailed information about, with instructions about how to become a minter during the pre-ICO will be released shortly. The MVP has recently been released, as I'm sure you've all seen, and the live version of the Kinesis currency e-wallet will be made available in the near future. The next question I have is, will users need to hold a KBT in order to purchase, not mint, K coins during the pre-ICO period? The KBE will not be live during the pre-ICO period. So those not participating as a pre-ICO minter will only be able to purchase KU and KAG after the pre-ICO period. Giles, I'll hand the next question over to you.
Okay, great. So far, so good. Obviously, there were some bolded questions that were sort of priority that you guys submitted, and we've almost covered them. I think the next question here, that is, how many million day-to-day users of K coins will the connector organizations be able to bring in the first 2 years? So, I think just coming from what Tom just said, and some of the numbers that he was just throwing out there, the meetings that we've been doing in Dubai, and some really, really important stuff we're doing out of Southeast Asia, is going to see a lot. However, we can't just project that. It's very hard for us to make a specific number. All you can do is follow the announcements, and as the business progresses and things move forward, we can start to get tangible numbers as we implement. Yeah, I think one of the things we can focus on, though, is, yeah, I think that's enough to say there. Otherwise, I would just be shooting from the hip. So, yeah. For the next question here, I'd like Nigel to take this on, so I'll hand over to Nigel for an introduction, and he can answer this question.
Hello, everybody. Well, the question was, how will the negative impact of a change of CTO at this critical stage be offset? Firstly, as Tom alluded to at the start of the call, I come from a background of traditional exchange from the London Metal Exchange, but also I have a heavy blockchain and crypto background. What I have noticed since I have come is the fact of the handover has been immaculate. The work that has been put in, the preparation that has been put in, the execution that has been done, it really is, I think, pretty seamless and smooth. I don't see any negative impacts that have been happening. You know, our IT team, the development work is scoped, it's planned, it is moving as projected. It's in a very good place. You know, the part of the experiences I bring are strategic as well. They are to enable the team to grow and to scale, and to plan in advance, to quicken development, to make sure that our rollout and timeframes are managed seamlessly, and that we achieve all the goals that the business is setting out. It's in a very good place. The teams are great. We will look to scale, we will look to enable, and they are really the key areas that I think, as you as partner group, I hope you would take away. It's a pleasure to be on board. It's a great executive team, a great development team, and it's very exciting. Jai?
Awesome, thank you, Nigel. So the next question here is for Richard. So Richard, I'll hand over to you on this one, mate.
Great, thanks, Joe. So the question is the mobile wallet where funds are loaded from a bank account for minting and where KBE sale proceeds are received? No, minters must load funds into the KCX prior to minting the Kinesis currencies, and the proceeds from trading on the KBE will be displayed as an account balance within the exchange interface. And this can be moved to the participant's nominated external e-wallet or bank account. Yeah, that's it. Back over to you, John.
Excellent. Okay, so that's it for the bold questions. And at this point, we're going to keep going. We're going to cover off all your other questions that you had. And, you know, I just wanted to say here, I don't think there's any harm in sharing our document with you. So I'll prepare a document for you post this webinar, and you can have these answers written as well. But the question here for me is, you know, how do we sign up for a mobile wallet and Kcoin e-wallet? Well, I think, you know, as you can see with the MVP demo that we've released there, you can have some idea about what the sign up process will be. When it comes to the mobile wallet sort of thing, as we get more detailed information as the release happens, we will put together an information sort of page like we have everything else. So we'll make sure that we follow you through and give you detailed instructions. But ultimately, all these things are going to be very, very simple to use. Simplicity is the core of what we're doing on everything from the exchange side to the wallets, the mobile wallet, everything. It's all about simplicity. So it'll be easy and it will all be explained clearly. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Can't hear you. You're lagging. Your internet's lagging. We can hear your audio, but you might want to give it a second just to beat the lag.
Can you hear me?
No, not hearing you.
Cool. We'll continue on for now. So, okay, Eric, next question's for you. I'm handing over.
Sure, thank you, Jai. Okay, the next question is, other debit cards can be linked to Apple, Google, Samsung Pay, PayPal, etc. Will this also be possible for the Kinesis debit card? Naturally, this is technically possible, and in fact, the mobile banking partner that we're integrating with already has on their mobile wallet side integration for Apple Pay and Google Pay, PayPal, Venmo, several other of these. And so it's just a question of our, integrating our facility with the mobile banking element. But yeah, so the quick answer is yes, it's possible, and the mobile banking partner already has several of these onboarded, and we will ensure that when the timing is right and we're able, that we'll incorporate those into the Kinesis debit card. The next question is for me as well, and that is, what will the cost of transferring into KCX a 1 kilo cold bar that meets ABX QAF is at the same physical storage vault, but stored with a different company, such as Gold Money, Gold Core, Bullion Vault, etc. So the first part of the question is, if you have bullion that's being held at ABX under the ABX umbrella, we'll have a process for what we're calling exchange physical for digital, and that will be a separate process. It'll be very easy, clicks of a button to do that, and there'll be no charge for that during the pre-ICO period. If you want to port over bullion that's sitting at ABX onto Kinesis, we'll have that facility, but and there'll be no cost during the pre-ICO period. For bullion that's in the same vault and it meets all the QAF requirements, but it's sitting at Gold Money, for instance, or Bullion Vault or Gold Core, that will depend. There's going to be likely third-party costs to, Gold Money, Bullion Vault. They have redeem features within their, and there's quite a bit of variable rules around how you redeem and the cost for redeeming. So that is, what we'll try to do there is, we've looked at all that, and we want to make that as easy as possible. So we'll put together a little flyer that gives our high-level view of the estimates of what it would cost, to port over bullion from Gold Money or Bullion Vault. But those charges will be, subject to what Gold Money and Bullion Vault and Gold Core charge. Once it's under our umbrella, of course, the same process will apply, and it'll be the exchange of physical for digital, and there'll be no cost to do that. So that's the answer on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, the question was, will limit orders and stop orders be available for minters selling on KBE? And will there be any order management available for buyers on KBE? And I've got an answer here, but I'm not really the person. This is more a question for Ryan. I don't know, Tom, are you able to speak yet? No. Maybe try and turn your camera off and see if you can speak. It might be sucking. No. Okay. Well, yeah, it's not making a difference. So look, I'll go ahead and I'll answer this very from the document I've got here. Limit orders, yes. Stop orders, no. We had a conversation about it. They're conditional orders, which are monitored by brokers. There's complexities that go into that, at least in the initial stages of the KBE. We will not be having any stop orders on there. It'll just be limit orders. Okay, and that's it. So then the next question here for Eric. You're muted, Eric. You're muted.
There we go.
There we
go. Well, the question is, how will 100 gram 1 kilo bar gold bars and 1 kilo silver bars be transferred from ABX to KCX? That will flow, if I'm understanding the question correctly. Again, that's another exchange of physical for digital question that I covered in the previous question. And so just to do a recap, when you have bullion sitting with the ABX umbrella, which, and of course, if it's sitting with ABX, it already meets the QAF, it already meets all of those requirements. And there'll be a very simple process, a couple clicks of a button to do an exchange of physical for digital, where it just automatically ports into your Kinesis wallet the requisite number of coins. Okay.
Okay. So Eric, there was just another question for you. Post that as well.
Sorry. Let me go to that. I thought there was one more in between. Okay. Yeah, so the next question is, will K coins traded on other exchanges, such as Hyperion, be eligible for the various yields? So this is an interesting question. And so what we're attempting to do with the likes of Hyperion and several other appropriate exchanges in appropriate regions is to put together a strategic alliance between our exchanges, where we will have a revenue share with those exchanges. The reason being, if they're exchanges that we don't have a strategic partnership with, the way that exchanges typically work in a centralized basis, all funds are held in the exchange wallet, this third-party exchange, and virtual balances are traded around that. And by virtue of that, there is no velocity, there is no transaction fees that are payable to Kinesis. So where we make strategic deals, and we have plans to make strategic deals with appropriate exchanges across regions, where we will have a revenue share that will then it will be incorporated into the pools for Kinesis yields. So that's the basic answer. We'll have a list of what we will call approved exchanges, approved third-party exchanges. Those will be ones that we have these partnerships with. Any other exchanges that are utilized, any exchange is free to list. It's the blockchain, right? So they can list the KAU and various pairs off our currencies. But if we don't have a strategic partner with them, there's no benefit to Kinesis and no benefit to holders of Kinesis or users of Kinesis. So there'll be no yield associated with those that aren't part of the strategic partnerships that we're aligning with. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I've dialed in through my telephone now, so hopefully that holds up. Yeah, so actually just commenting on what Eric said before, and what I guess I want everyone to understand as well. I mean, the number of investors that we get in KVTs during the KVT time, you are going to see that dramatically scale up over the next while, and also the level of investment scale up over the next while as well. We are partnering, as Eric said, with different exchanges who will be listing KVTs, and we'll be going out to the exchanges like user base or customer base. And, those integrations will provide access, so onboarding points for investors, both, as far as, during the ICO period, as they promote basically Kinesis to their user bases, but also post ITO, for the KVTs. So as we get listed, those access points will bring in new users who then have skin in the game effectively, and skin in the game to then actually, be incentivized to use our monetary system in the future as well. So basically getting investment in will not, from different users, will not stop during the pre-ICO phase. Pre-ITO phase. The second thing, and I missed what Jai said before, as far as limit orders and stop orders go. Now, first and foremost, we will be operating exchanges. A stop order is what's called a conditional order. This is something offered by brokers, not exchanges. The reason being is a conditional order, it sits outside of what's called the order book. And so outside of a transparent view, and no party really, should have sight of certainly all the stop orders within a marketplace. A broker might offer it to their clients, but certainly not an exchange. So as I said, a stop order is something that's conditional, as in, a price order being hit, and then that triggers an order to come into the market. In the case of a limit order, yes, limit orders can be placed in the limit order book and transparently seen within the limit order book. This is something that, we can definitely incorporate. I'm not 100% certain whether we flagged it from day one. I think we have. I think it's there, isn't it, in KCX?
Yeah,
is that correct?
Limit orders, yeah.
Yep. So when you place a limit order, you'll see it in the limit order book. You'll see it in basically the market depth. So and so that's perfectly fine. So yeah, no, I was just going to chime in and say that there. That's it.
Okay, brilliant. Right, so as far as the questions go, so far, let me just bring these up. Lost them. Okay. Okay, so there was another question here, just for myself, in regards to, will Kinesis be advertised on ABX site? ABX are going to release a press release on the website in due course. We will put some stuff up on there. We do keep them fairly separate, but there will be a link. And as we move forward, the management and the marketing and how that all ties together will be strategically thought about. So at this time, we will do a release, but perhaps not going to be advertised in full as yet. And that was that.
No, I was just going to say, and I don't think it's a very big thing to be advertising Kinesis on the ABX site. One, we have intentionally separated the two entities. It's still, ABX is an institutional level exchange. It's still, following through as far as realizing its true vision of effectively becoming the premier and prominent venue for global physical precious metals trading, basically to become the prominent global physical precious metals exchange. Really we see ground zero for ABX really kicking off is with the launch of the clearinghouse that we're interfacing into or integrating into, and that's European Commodity Clearing, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Deutsche Börse. With that, we roll out to all of ECC's members, both clearing members and non-clearing members as well. It's around 450 of them. But these are large, established financial and trading organisations spread across the world. ECC hold a multi-billion-dollar balance sheet with very large trading lines and credit lines, which they have established with their different members. This is something that ABX does not have. We don't have a multi-billion-dollar balance sheet. We don't have a tried and tested and regulated clearinghouse established. We're trading still in relatively small amounts, yet we've built up all the technology and infrastructure to scale up effectively immediately once we get this clearinghouse integration over and done with. So ABX exists largely at the institutional level, and we see it as being advantageous to have that separation with Kinesis. Kinesis is fits outside of ABX's vision, and also, if say we want just a separation between the two. It's just a risk mitigation policy that we've taken. And yeah, so I also don't see any real benefit. The ABX website wouldn't get too much retail sort of flow. And anyone who we want to be approaching at the institutional level for Kinesis, we just approach them directly anyway, or they already know about us. So to answer that question as well, I don't even see much benefit in advertising ABX on the Kinesis. Sorry, Kinesis on the ABX site. Yet, of course, you know, we can put out news and do whatever as well. Yeah, so moving on.
Okay. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, look, this, as far as we looked at with the questions, we did review every question. That's where we end for this Q&A, and I hopefully, you know, these were all the main questions that you guys have asked, and that, and along with Tom's announcements and sort of the general feeling where we're at, and now there's the MVP, and we're going to do an official release of the MVP today. You know, we've got a lot happening, and I think there's a little bit more clarity in the direction of things, and hopefully you guys are happy. And look, we do value all the ambassadors. We see the work that you've done, and we see the work that you contribute, and we are launching a program. It is in development. We've got it all scoped out in full. We're just sort of, you know, tidying up a few of the dotting the I's and crossing the T's, and looking into a bit of technology that can help us manage it. But it is an ambassadors program that we will put together, and it will see you be able to earn KVTs for participation and for the work that you're doing. So, you know, there will be this reward component to the ambassadors thread, and we hope that we can grow that, and we hope that we can grow that globally as well. So we got some, you know, really key target areas that we're focusing on as a company, as we strategically roll out our partnerships and our marketing to sort of follow. We do want to have pockets of ambassadors, you know, in each region that really support, you know, the messaging and what we're doing, and we recognize that you know, that KVTs are and a reward for doing that is necessary, and that's what we're putting together.
100%. Should we, you know, quickly touch on the MVP and the status of it, and that, yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise for us. Basically, the link to it being found, it was something hidden, and perhaps it's not in the, you know, the most stable environment for use at the moment. It might be worthwhile, Nigel, just making a quick comment on that.
Great.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, the link is out there. You guys have found it and had a look. There's been some nice positive response, which is excellent. It is currently sat in a UAT environment. So we are obviously developing the rest of the program of works. We are aiming to port that to a production-like, more stable environment in the coming weeks, and we will do that. The reason we are doing that is so we can continue our development of our program of works without interrupting any of the fluidity and the system of the MVP, because there will be nothing worse if you come to have a look at it and you get an error, or it is slow because there are things running in the background. That shouldn't happen. We are monitoring it, but please be aware that we do intend to port it to a more stable production-like environment.
And just one last thing from me as well, and this may have not been clearly explained previously, but I want to explain it from my words. So what we're doing is this. So as far as the MVP goes, that is for what I call basically the pure vanilla type blockchain solution. And it shows, you know, the creation and the emission of the coins between KCX and into our Kinesis wallet, and that's purely on the blockchain. And you know, you'll be able to see the blockchain there, etc., etc. We're creating effectively, you call it two wallets: the pure plain vanilla type Kinesis blockchain wallet. In addition to that, we'll be creating a full integrated wallet with the full Kinesis solution. The full Kinesis solution has the integration into the mobile banking facility, whereby you'll be able to do your, you know, online payments or banking globally. it's a very extensive banking and payment facility. So yes, that's in partnership with Unified Signal. In addition to that, KBE will be connected to that. KBE will be facilitating the conversions between basically the Kinesis currencies and fiat currencies and also other cryptocurrencies. And that'll expand over time. We'll have, basically the core products or currencies there from launch, and we'll continue to expand those. Over time, it will also be completely integrated with the Kinesis Commercial Center. Now, this is a solution that will likely be fully rolled out post-launch, and it will be something that will expand over time because it's a massive business unit in its own right, and it will continue to expand. We're very focused at the moment on integration into large platforms and large, global multinational businesses, and to accept Kinesis currency as a form of payment. And actually, we're well ahead as far as those sort of partnerships go to where I thought we'd be at this point in time. We haven't even really tried. It's just sort of been part of our everyday sort of business conversations. And it's really taken off. So we continue to push ahead with it, but we're going to have an entire business unit built out around the Kinesis Commercial Center with its own sales and marketing team and everything like that, or marketing unit. So that's something very big, and we're focusing on the core primary things at the moment to get them up and rolling, and then we'll roll into sequentially into the next sort of stages. So anyway, I wanted to communicate that anyway. So the MV2P is like the plain vanilla blockchain solution, where you can just transfer Kinesis currencies through the blockchain and create them and emit them and everything like that. And then we'll also have an integrated Kinesis wallet as well, where that's where KYC is required to be done, because you have the onboarding and offboarding of fiat currency and integrating up against the KBE exchange, etc. So yeah, that's what I have to say there. Eric or Andy or anyone else, do you have anything else to add at this point?
I'm good.
Other than it's very exciting, guys, and obviously it's nice to drill down into the weeds every now and again, answer some questions. I think you're going to find that communication now improving a lot. There's going to be some, as we talked about, there's going to be some great announcements coming up shortly. And although it seems like there's a lag, obviously it's so important to get this right. And I'm 1000% confident that this is right, and that it's going to roll out just as we envisaged it, except much, much bigger than I ever envisaged it.
100%. And yeah, unfortunately, we can't build Rome overnight. And yeah, of course, we apologize for the delay, but what I will say is it's better that we get it right rather than trying to launch with a product where we've cut corners, etc. So we want to be 100% confident behind this. We want this solution and this platform to be bulletproof by launch. So we're extending that out. That's why we've pushed out, this beta testing phase, and it'll allow you guys to have some fun and testing it all, and etc. And we're able to get more people financially invested in success, and also raise more capital for the business by extending the KVT sale. As I said as well, some of these institutional deals that we're going through at the moment, they've just taken a little bit longer. Well, not really than expected. It's just institutional deals take a long time. Both parties have to conduct due diligence on each other. We have to conduct due diligence on them. They need to conduct due diligence on us. And, then you get down to commercial negotiations and everything like that. And it can just take some time. It's not a simple process of, I want to buy KVT and let's, integrate our businesses. Basically, the deals that we're doing, they're long-term strategic deals, full integration into our system of their solution. And we need to be picking the right partners as well. Ultimately, because in any kind of integration, we're expending resources at our end, incurring costs at our end. So, we need to do our own due diligence as well. So it all takes a little bit of time, and it's the right thing. And it's 100%. We have 100% consensus on our end. It's the right thing to be pushing this out just by a little bit. So it's only a 2-month delay for the monetary system, but you'll have a beta version of the platform to play with during that time. So I don't think it's all that bad news. And in fact, I think it's all positive news. I mean, it just Kinesis goes from one strength to the next. But anyway, I'm sure you're sick of hearing my voice and me, basically, screaming from rooftops about this. So I wanted you to connect with the team as well, and we're here. And I'm going to get re-engaged with the Telegram community as well. I got very far behind with everything, and I basically had to make a decision to not even open Telegram because I couldn't even stay on top of my emails. So thank you very much for your patience with everything, and look forward to engaging with you further as we go forward.
Awesome.
Yeah, and thank you. And I was going to say, as we said earlier, thank you very much. Yeah, ambassadors, we see you ambassadors as what you are, ambassadors. And thank you so much for all the good work you do. And it's hugely valued. And it certainly gives me a buzz every time I come in there and see how much dedication and time is put into it. But just say thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for your continued support with everything. We really do appreciate it, and it gives us a lot of inspiration internally as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, guys, I think, I'm not going to build too much on top of that. What more can be said other than the fact that, we're expanding, we're growing, and I'm fired up every morning, and everyone in the organization is really fired up. So we've got a massively dedicated team. Everybody, right down to the last person, is dedicated. So it's a good team. It's a good project. So, we're here.
Indeed.
I guess...
Yeah. I think almost everyone within the organisation has personally invested in Kinesis and KVTs as well. And myself and my father have invested at full price, just so everyone's aware.
Yeah, even contractors that come and visit us and do work with us end up investing in KVTs. They come here, they do some contract work, and they buy KVTs because, they love it. So, it's going places and fast. So I think that concludes. I think that's a nice note to finish on. We've done an hour, and I think like Tom said, we'll keep this regular, and as we move forward and gain more momentum, we'll see you again very, very soon. Unless anyone else has got anything to say, look, I saw a couple of questions on Telegram. There is one question. I'm not going to answer it here. We'll go back off to Telegram and we'll answer that question there. So other than that, thank you very much. Have a good afternoon, good evening, or a good morning, wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you again.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone.